Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. And baby, we are back. All right. This is P Valley. Finally. All right. I'm so excited to have this daggone show back. I cannot wait. It's been 2 years. All right. And the doors of the pink is finally open. Well, not really open. All right. We're going to get into that. But this episode was called PussyLand. Of course, this is season 2, episode 1. And down in the valley where the girls get naked, if throwing those bands, then we gonna shake it. 1, 2, breaker, 3, 4, breaker. All right. So we started out this episode with Dirty Darnell, okay, coming in from the Shy. He's here in this hotel room, or I don't know if that was the house that looked like a hotel, right? And they throwing this birthday party or whatever, and he look over at his kids everywhere. He told the wife he going to, 7-Eleven, honey, but when he get out there in that car, we see him looking up, and we seeing, Raggedy behind Mercedes' mama on this billboard, okay? She done got her church and everything set up. It's talking about the church doors is open. But then when he look in the opposite direction, we seeing a sign for the pink, okay? So, of course, he goes that way to the pink, and we see that they are now doing these drive-thrus, okay? Car wash type of strip shows going on. I ain't mad at it. You got to do what you got to do, right? We got drive-thrus for the food, and they even got drive-thru funerals, so, hey, why not, right? And so they had to kind of improvise because we see that they are dealing with COVID just like a lot of us have been dealing with COVID. They basically incorporated it into the show. And so we see they got their mask and all that on, and it's basically a sign saying hand jobs for 30. Okay, I think it was like car detail was 60 and Mercedes was 100. So he said he want that Mercedes, honey, make his car look like a Mercedes. And they tell him, make sure you close those windows up so you don't get wet. So as he's strolling through, we seeing all the girls, some behind these, shades and glass or whatever have you, doing their different little dances, and he like, yeah, getting excited. And then he gets stopped and sees, Clifford, and he about to be like, oh hell no, and try to reverse. But Uncle Clifford was like, hold up, boo. Okay, don't move, all right, don't be scared, come on through, all right, don't run from it. You know how they be like, don't you run from me. He's like, we got something special for you. Uncle Clifford girls is about to hook you up. So as Uncle Clifford moves out the way and he proceeds and keeps going down, of course, he ends with the last person being Mercedes. And she got her little cowboy hat on, honey. They got the little horse there, like we be seeing in amusement parks, is attached to the pole. And of course, she's killing it. They killed this whole scene. One thing about P-Valley, they always give you that good opening scene. The girls was getting it in. And he's sitting here trying to, help himself off while he's watching them, okay? And definitely enjoying the view of the show that he is getting, okay, needless to say. And so Uncle Clifford end up coming up to him when it's, the end of the dance, and he gives him some, wings on the house, and then gives him some Clorox and tells him to clean up that mess. I'm like, ooh, okay. So, we have them all sitting around, and we see that now, they're not dealing with cash, right? They're doing everything electronically. So we see that Miss, Autumn Haley is paying out everybody, and Mercedes is basically complaining, saying, is this all I get? And saying she should be getting a little bit more because, they coming through to see her. She's the biggest one, which she always was the biggest one even before, right? That everybody that's coming into the car wash is basically asking for that Mercedes, honey, all right? They ain't asking to see these other little side pieces over here. And so she was like, what the hell Big L getting paid for? He don't even be doing nothing. But we do see that now, like I said, she's sending them the money electronically, and everybody is kind of checking their phone. So it's not, cash like it was. And Mercedes is asking her, are you sure that this is right? And she's saying, yes, absolutely is right, okay? And so, of course, this is like another setback for them, right? It's like they got the pink back, but now they're still struggling because of the whole COVID situation. And like I said, a lot of us could relate to that. We've seen a lot of businesses close and have to get shut down and all that different kind of stuff. And so they're just showing that, they made it past one hurdle and now they got another one, all right? And so they also see, what was his name? Oh gosh, why am I forgetting his name right now? Okay, Little Murder. Sorry, y'all. They seeing Little Murder on the TV. Apparently, he doing good. He got a video out, and we seeing Keyshawn. Okay, I ain't forgive you, Keyshawn, but we seeing she's like a video vixen now, and that they in here with him and his song and her swinging around on the pole, and so of course Uncle Clifford hurry up and turn that off. He like, come on, we ain't got time to be watching this. And then it was a girl that Uncle Clifford was basically feeding her baby, and the girl was saying like, Uncle Clifford, you so good with the kids. How the heck you get the baby to be quiet? I can't never get him to calm down. And Big L was saying, oh, she slipped some beer in there. So Uncle Clifford was like, no, I don't slip no beer in there. Okay, I put a little bit of bourbon because he's teething early. So the girl hurried up and took her baby from him. But he basically was saying like, I hope you ain't got no daggone raggedy baby daddy, especially if he white. And homegirl tells him, listen, I don't even know who the baby daddy is, so you ain't got to worry about that. So, basically, they still, you could see, trying to get it together, figure everything out, and things still ain't looking right. They still getting bills, they getting denied for loans. They saying that they don't qualify for the relief loan because they are not considered to be essential. All right, and so they was like, how the hell are we non-essential? And so basically, we have Haley asking Uncle Clifford, how much do you got left? And she's like, how much left for what? And he's like, what the hell I'm talking about, the money I gave you. So Big L says it's 25,000. She was like, how the hell is it only 25,000? How many burkas you been buying? She was like, 250 stacks, 55 went to paying off the damn loans off the scratch, and then that left 195. You know what I'm saying? So where's the rest? And she was like, do you know how much it costs to keep this place afloat, to show everything and give everything and do everything that we've been doing for the last 5 months without getting any help for any of, what I'm saying, the outside loans? We not qualifying for nothing. He said 55,000 had went to something else, and she was like, okay, I get that, but that still doesn't add up to that. So obviously we are still having issues, and they still gotta beg, borrow, and damn near still to try to make it. I'm like, Lord. So basically, she also tells her, don't forget about the daggone Paradise Room, which had to have a complete renovation. And so she was like, I don't want to hear you coming at me about no bull crap right now, okay? And about how you the owner and this and that. And she was like, well, quit it, because I gave you 15% of the ownership. So basically, we see that Uncle Clifford basically got 15%. And so, Uncle Clifford does say that he could understand why, Mercedes wants a bigger cut. And she was like, look, I used my damn last change I had to make a down payment on her gym. Don't act like I'm not trying to help her out. So, everybody just is like, tensions are still high. They stressed, which is definitely understandable. And so now they hear some screaming from outside going on, and they like, now what the hell is these damn, chicks out here going on about now? Did the aliens come or something? So when they walk out there, they see the governor on TV saying how the lockdown, is going to be over next week. So they like, all right, now this is a new day. This is what we've been waiting to hear. Now this is some good news. Now we can have a grand reopening, okay? And that they're going to be letting these, restrictions up. But it has been a big death toll. And we find out that, the black mayor of Chucalissa, okay, basically end up dying, from COVID. And so they're saying, who this new person is that's going to be taking over. And so Haley was like, what do you think this means, what I'm saying, for the things they wanted to do with the renovations of the casino? And, they got to figure that out now, if that's still going to be an issue. And so, going from that, we basically see this lady come home, and I'm trying to figure out who the heck she is. I did not recognize her at all at first. We see this car pull up, and she's going in through like, a side entrance or whatever the case may be. She has a nurse uniform on, mask and all of that kind of stuff. And she's taking everything off and putting it in this, red bag, and spraying everything down, cleaning everything, and getting in the shower. And long story short, come to realize that this is, Andre's wife. And so I'm like, oh, wow, we didn't see her in a minute, and we didn't see her that much in the first season. So I really didn't remember her. And she's frustrated because she's seeing that she ain't got no damn milk in the fridge. So she's trying to call upstairs, but she ain't getting no answer. So when she make her way upstairs, we seeing, Andre, and he looking like he done got spaced out on drugs or something. Like, you on that stuff? I mean, or like he's really in a deep depression, because we seeing upstairs is a mess. He's just sitting there playing the game. He ain't even hear her when she was calling on the phone. You know, he turning around talking about how his work. Apparently, she's been trying to quarantine and stay in a whole nother part of the house to make sure she don't bring, you know what I'm saying, nothing back to him. And he's like, sorry, babe, the day got away from me. You seeing food and all kind of stuff all over the counter. So she like, yo, what the hell you been doing all day? You know, that's the only thing I asked you to do, is just to make sure I have some daggone milk, and you couldn't even do that. And she was like, I called you 3 times, you not answering, and it looks like a lot of other people been calling you. She was like, shoot, you know, the uncle's wife called him 7 times. So then she like, well, who's Haley? And he hurry up and snatched that phone a little too fast for me, baby. So then he got ahead and, you know, he's like, it can't be, because he sees that, you know, Haley's over here sending him freaking condolences, and he didn't even know that the uncle died. So he calls back Eloise, and he's like, when? And he's trying to figure that out and say, you know, I thought he was getting better. And he's like, last night, wow. So, you know, he starts to get upset, and he's saying, okay, yeah, of course, I'm gonna, you know, drive to Mississippi tomorrow. So his wife is like, are you crazy? You can't go. It's not safe. She was like, no, you cannot go. She's basically yelling and screaming in the background like, Andre, no, no, no. So he was like, Eloise, I'm gonna call you back. So he telling her, you know, babe, calm down. She was like, you know what kind of day I have? You know what I'm fighting every day? She said, I lost 7 patients, and that was a good day. You know, the day before I lost 12. And we know how it was out here. So he's saying here talking about some baby. And she's like, no, you cannot do this. She was like, I know you think I'm being overly cautious, you know, OCD or whatever, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I do not want to lose you, and I wouldn't wish this on my less, you know, my worst enemy, all right? And we got to take all the precautions we can. So he telling her, you know, I won't go to the funeral, I promise. I'll just pay my respects, and I'll be on about my business, okay? She looking rough, he looking rough. I'm like, child, I don't think you need to be going nowhere, but nonetheless, she tell him go, all right? She was like, just go to the wake early, not late. You know how these damn black people are, okay? And so he makes her this promise that that's what he gonna do. We shall see, right? And so then he just basically, you know, looking at her as she walks away. And so we get, you know, just the scenery of seeing how everything looks empty, you know, or nobody's in none of the parks, nobody's out on the street, nobody's in no stores or nothing. And then we seeing that, you know, Miss Daggone Raggedy behind Patrice, Mercedes' mother, you know, all these cars are lined up by her. That's the only place you see any type of traffic. Apparently, she got a food bank and she handing that out. And then she handing out some daggone CDs that I'm assuming is with her singing and probably some of her preaching too. And I'm like, girl, Patrice, whatever. Like, I guess it's good that you are at least doing the food bank with your damn devil behind, okay? And so everybody's lined up there for that. You know, we got Little Murder seeing that he's still trying to work on beats and work on a new song or whatever the case may be. And it's, you know, kind of rough. It ain't getting the right sound that they wanted to get. Ain't nothing really happening for him either right now because of COVID. You know, he thinking about maybe possibly taking the show on the road, but it's like, how can we do that when there's a pandemic going on? And like I said, just trying to get these beats together for this song. So all of a sudden he pulling out, you know, buckets, pots, pans, whatever, and a knife and a fork, and he doing a beat on the, you know, on the bucket while the guy's doing the beat from the computer. And so he started talking about, you know, when I make it out this bitch, whatever the hell he was saying, but that damn song was bumping, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, y'all too like Little Murder. And he was like, you know, I'ma be stupid rich and all of that kind of stuff. And so they was rocking for a minute, and I'm like, okay, I see you banging on your little pots and pans. All right, get it, boy. So nonetheless, you know, we seeing that daggone Keyshawn baby is still caught up into her mess, okay? We also see, you know, that when Little Murder got a knock at the door and somebody had came by his house or whatever and was dropping something off to him or making a little exchange, we had this car pull up and he wasn't too sure who these people was, so he was already kind of pulling, you know what I'm saying, on his gun just in case. But they was like, oh, when that next song coming out, this and that, and he like, oh, it'll be soon. So we see who I think was the guy that he beat up the last time around. in the club for talking to him funny. We see that he was in the back seat, so I don't know if something gonna end up coming up later with that. All right. And we have, Mercedes yelling and screaming like if she's getting it in with somebody big time or whatever. And Haley getting up frustrated and knocking at the door like, shut the hell up, girl. She blasting the music as loud as she can. And the next thing you know, when Mercedes come out, she just talking about how, she went from being celibate on purpose to having to be celibate and not getting none because of this whole pandemic. So I'm like, wait, girl, you was in there making all that damn noise all that time and it was just you? Like, girl, really? Okay. So basically, she say that she's don't got time to eat or right, that once she basically get, her blunt, her hitty, and her nut, she don't need nothing else, and she about to get up out of there. Haley starts to say that she was thinking about what she told her last night, and she thinks, that she's right. She's been holding them down for a minute. So for the reopening, okay, she want to go ahead and negotiate and give her an offer, to at the door. And she was like, just the door? She was like, yes, the door. You've been holding down 2 mortgages, a house, and a gym, so you're welcome. And she was like, I also want to go ahead and add in some new girls. We can't be having all this stuff on your shoulder. We need some new blood. So she's like, nah, we good. We don't need no new blood. We don't need no new girls. She was like, hold up, cut that out, or whatever the case may be. Now, we ain't say nothing about no damn new girls. And she was like, more girls would mean more rotation. She like, nah. She was like, Kelly, Beyonce needed her Kelly and Michelle. So she was like, our best heads are gone. Gidget apparently packed up and left after her mom died. And she was like, and Keyshawn. And so Mercedes cut her right up. So don't say that girl name in my house, okay? She pulled a gun. And then she's like, come on now. You can't do that against no damn family. So, Haley's telling her you don't understand. And she was like, no, actually, I do. And I do too. And I'm still not feeling you, Keyshawn. Not yet. It's too soon. I'm sorry. I know it's been 2 years, but I still need a little bit more time because I wasn't feeling you with that. But at the end of the day, she's saying, this is what we need to do. And Mercedes is still telling her, nah, we good on that. All right. She was like, we will be able to handle it. So don't you worry your little head, boss. Okay. And she go ahead about her day. But I doubt very much that Haley is going to listen to her. Okay. And so, moving on from that, we actually did see Keyshawn, okay, and she got this whole setup going on in her house or whatever the case may be, where she's doing dances on live, and she's getting, big views or whatever, okay, a big following. She have a website and all of that, and we're seeing that her raggedy behind husband is basically watching her from the kitchen while he's sitting there babysitting the daggone kids. And so when she comes out from doing the dance, she's telling him how, yeah, this is good, and I'm getting so many offers and endorsements, and my webpage is good, and this, that, and the third. And he's telling her about how he supposedly got this job interview, and of course if he gets this job, then she wouldn't need to do this anymore. And it's like, boy, don't you see this is something she want to do? Whether you getting a job or not, that's not gonna make a difference to her. But of course it is what it is, because like I said, she is still with him. He's telling her, wow, you had over 400,000 people watching, okay? But nonetheless, like I said, he tells her, he have this job interview at 3. And she was like, come on, I was supposed to go live at 3. And he was like, well, first of all, you can't be setting up nothing without making sure that it's not okay. So we see, he's basically still holding her like a damn prisoner. And it's probably even easier to do it now, especially since they're dealing with COVID and being locked down. She's telling him that this is just temporary, that this is going to end. And there'll be a day when, she'll come back. And he'll come back at the shop and there'll be a crowd again. And he's telling her, nah, that's all the room you need. Okay, so like I said, he's fine with keeping her locked up there doing it, as opposed to being in the club. And he's kissing on her, and you could tell she don't want to kiss on him, but she doing it any daggone way. And then it's kind of like when the baby cries, saved by the baby crying. Okay, so I just was like, girl. So anyway, we have Uncle Clifford and Big L fixing this room, right? I think that was the cloud room. I can't remember what the name was, but the room that had the clouds at the top, the room that everything went down in, okay? And so they like, "Ooh, did you feel that?" And you see like some wind blowing, and they like, nobody didn't turn on no daggone AC or nothing, okay? So it's almost like they feel like it's a ghost up in here. And then you have Haley come in behind them and scare the hell out of them, and they like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like, watch what you doing. She like, "I didn't mean to scare y'all." So, they basically showing her what they've been able to get done so far, and they turn on these different lights to see, show what Big L did, and she's like, "Oh wow, great, you did a great job." But in the midst of them looking at this little new light showing how the room is set up, she's noticing this mark coming out on the wall, and she's like, "Turn those lights off." So when they look, they like, "You gotta be kidding me, the blood is still seeping through." And she was basically letting them know like, "Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't matter, okay, you could paint it red, but blood is always gonna seep through." All right, I didn't know that, but honey, they was all looking. So that room is like really, really eerie now. Okay, I don't know what they gonna do about that, but she was saying nothing works. All right, that blood stains always bleed through. And so they all just was standing there looking at it for a minute. Then you had, Little Murder coming through looking for Wody, okay, his manager, and he calling out his name, calling out his name. This boy gonna pop up out of damn coffin. I said, honey. And Little Murder, he lucky because he almost shot him. He had his gun out like, "What the hell are you doing laid up in a damn coffin?" He was like, "I'm worried about you," okay? So he's like, telling him that he been there working all nighters or whatever the case may be. So he's like, "What's going on?" And so Little Murder tells him, "Well, we about to get busy." Like I said, he's really thinking about this tour. He's saying that they need to capitalize on this now. And so basically, he was like, they coming up with music and stuff like that. And so he is like, "Listen, I know you want to do all this or whatever, but first of all, Keyshawn, baby daddy, got her on lockdown. So how the hell you gonna figure that out? She could barely get out the damn house." And so he was like, "That's gonna be another problem." And see, that's one thing that I don't really like. At one point, yeah, him and Keyshawn do vibe good together and all of that. But on the other hand, him having to really depend on her, for him to be able to go on tour and make his videos and get certain things going is not a good thing. Okay, I don't think she's going to be somebody that he's going to be able to depend on in that way. So that could end up being a big issue. But nonetheless, he want to go ahead and see what he could do. The guy, the manager, Woody, is telling him, "You ain't got to be worried about the dead." And at the same time, Little Murder is saying to him, "Well, we got to get up and go soon." And he was like, "You ain't scared?" And Little Murder saying, "Nah, I ain't scared of the living." Okay, so he's saying he want to live his life while he can. And I can get, both perspectives of where they coming from. And I do appreciate the fact that they always keep it real with each other. You have him call up Keyshawn, and apparently he owes her some type of money. So she like, "Run me my bread, okay? Where the hell is my bread? If you ain't calling me about that, we don't need to talk." And of course, when he brings up the tour, she's like, "Boy, you want to go out on a damn tour and there's a pandemic going on." We also seeing that she over here getting a damn idea to hide her daggone diapers or whatever inside the little dispenser and act like all of them are dirty and finished just so she could get out the daggone house. I'm like, so girl, you can't even go to the store when you want to. You got to go through all of this to get out the house, but you still think that this is a good situation? Lord Keyshawn, pray for Keyshawn, y'all, okay? Because it's a mess. So we see that, when her baby daddy end up coming in the room, she's basically giving him an excuse using the diapers. He's like, "Yo, I thought I just bought diapers. How the heck they going already?" And, she like, "Oh, since we changed her formula, she been going to the bathroom a lot quicker," whatever the case may be. Then she say, she gonna go ahead and need to get some pads too. And he's like, "Well, your thing don't come to the fourth." Like he all clocking what her damn time frame is. And, she like, "Well, the fourth gonna come sooner or later, isn't it?" So, he told her, "Okay, whatever, bring him back a beer while she going out." We see that Andre did make it to his uncle's funeral, and, he over here about to cry over him or whatever and fixing his little, chain and tie and stuff like that in the coffin. And, we have his I think that was the assistant that was working with Andre. I don't remember her name right now. That was working with his uncle, rather, I should say. She says she's shocked to see that he made it or whatever the case may be. And, she's glad he made it. And he was like, yeah, you know how, everything is right now. And he was like, he wish he could have got there and been with him, of course, before it got to this point. He wasn't expecting for this to happen and for him to come to this because, of course, he thought that he was getting better. And so she ends up telling him because he was like, yeah, it was a name that, the uncle always had for the kids. And she ends up telling him that he has another child that he recently had because him and the third wife had basically got back together. So he was like, now, I'm saying it's number 6. So they basically laugh about that or whatever the case may be. And then she starts telling him, of course, the baby is too small. He can't be a pallbearer. So she's asking him if he could stay and do that. And at first he's talking about, no, I really shouldn't. I got to get out of here, da-da-da-da. But long story short, he ends up doing it. So it's like, Andre, you being hard-headed and you going against the agreement that you made with your daggone wife already because you were supposed to just go to the wake and get your behind back home. Now you over here talking about you going to stay and be a damn pallbearer. I'm like, really? You hard-headed. I swear he hard-headed. Talking about that's the least he could do and they need, him around to carry him home. And that, one thing about him, no matter what they went through, he really did love him and was proud of him and always talked about him. We see him outside smoking a cigarette and of course they want to make it like all mysterious, with Haley walking on the side like if he ain't supposed to know who she is, we just seeing her silhouette. And she walk up and take her mask off and she's like, can you cut me down? And he was like, oh, you've been here so long now, you talking to like Mississippians. And basically, she just wanted him to give her a damn cigarette, but they had to try to make it, sexy. And then I don't really know what the heck they was talking about with this part, to be honest, but he was saying how, he thought if he saw her again, he would probably want to slap her or whatever the case may be. He was telling her, of course, you sounding like a Chuckalisa native. And she was like, well, I guess, if you've been around long enough, then it gets cut up in your veins like a good vice. And so, he says it seemed like you developed your own since then or whatever. So, like I said, at first he was saying he only could smoke when he's away from Atlanta. And he basically was saying, he thought he would have wanted to do, slap her or whatever the case may be, which I don't understand why he would have. But okay, Andre, we see you. All right. And so, she started telling him about some, oh, well, do you want to do it? Is that right? And, she telling him something about how anger and, grief could be like the clouds. And she was like, don't worry, I won't kill you. And he was like, I could be the one to kill you, right? And so she's like, I've already gotten it and already getting everything that I'm going to get. And, everything went through like a F5 tornado. And like I said, or after that, she started talking about grief and clouds. And she was saying it don't get no better, okay? But it does, change or whatever the case may be. And he was like, is that right? And so she just kind of walks back off into the darkness and walks away from him. And I'm like, okay, we have the funeral, which I thought everybody looked good with their little green on. Okay, maybe that was Uncle's cotton color because everybody had the neon green, and we even seen the house that they was at was like a neon green. Andre does stay and he does do the pallbearer. Not only does he do that, but then he gets up and does a speech. So we literally see it on his TV. So I'm just imagining his wife probably looking at this on the daggone TV like, I told this fool to go to the early wake, and here he is on TV doing the whole speech. We have Grandma asked Uncle Clifford to come over. Of course, Miss Loretta Devon, I love her. And she like, do you see Mookie? He's like, no, I don't see him. She was like, oh, good. Then that means if you don't see Mookie, okay, then you know what that mean, honey. That mean, and Clifford like, nope. Before she could even get it out, she like, oh, come on, Clifford. She was like, Mookie is Tydell's third baby mother, okay? And she gonna be over there and she gonna be making them damn, the only reason why her ass is not there is because she gonna be busting and breaking her foot off and them chitlins, okay? And she needs some of them chitlins, all right? She gonna have a pot of chitlins at the repast. And she was like, so now you want me to, run up and, possibly, contaminate myself with rolling to get chitlins, and then she talking about, well, I'll go and get them my damn self. Y'all know how grandma is. Where are my keys? And so he was like, if you don't sit your dry coochie down somewhere. I love them two together, boy. They be cracking me up. So nonetheless, she talking about that they just using this, crackers using this as a reason to keep us in the house. I said, I can't. So, we seeing, like I said, Andre up here, and he's, talking about the kind of man that his uncle was. And even though everybody may not have liked him and he may not have liked everybody, he did keep it real. He said what he was on his mind. He spoke his mind at all times and spoke his truth. And he was like, he would be one to drop that N-word, okay, at the end of what he was saying, whenever he was saying it. And so everybody kind of said it in unison. And that white man was looking like he was ready to say it. I was like, huh. It looked like it was just about to jump up off his lips, but he didn't, and he just laughed it off, okay? And so, he was saying how he would give a compliment and an insult, and then, of course, we see them back at the house for the repast after, and we have Uncle Clifford come walking up with his green. I said, baby, he got it together and had that green together real quick, okay, so go ahead up in there and get Grandma chitlins. We also see, Mercedes after she done lied to sneak her behind out the house. She's on the phone, with her friend. And she's telling her, like, oh, things is better than ever. They're not the way, it used to be. Basically trying to sell her a damn dream that none of us believe, okay? And she was like, he told me to go ahead and get out the house and, that he would watch the baby for me while I go ahead and get some air and all this stuff. I said, girl, bye, okay? Like I said, none of us believe this. And she was like, so you just head into the damn, dollar store. So I said, all the time she walking, I'm thinking to myself, where's her mask in my head? So then look up, and who is there, okay, but Diamond over here doing damn security at the dollar store, y'all, honey. And so when she see her, she was like, Gidge, I gotta get off this phone, I'm gonna call you back. And so here she go walking over to him. I don't know why, because you should already know that Diamond was not going to want to see you behind, okay? And she like, Diamond, hi, I haven't seen you, and all of this crap. And so he's basically like, where's your mask? Okay, same thing I'm asking, where's your mask? And she's like, oh, I just had to run in there real quick. I need to get some diapers and stuff. And he's like, yeah, well, I can't let you go in without a mask. And she like, are you serious? It's just going to be real quick. He was like, dollar store rules. So she's like, I just need Pampers from Regal real quick and some moon pies for me. I said you need your mask, okay? And so basically, she's like, Diamond, it happened so fast. You know what? Things got away from me. And he was like, not here. She was like, well, then when? She was like, I haven't had a chance to see you since everything that went down, and I'm really, just trying to apologize to you. And he ain't trying to hear it. Like I said, he's like, I'm good. She was like, I can't tell you how much I think about that day and that night and everything that happened. And, of course, she's almost on the verge of tears. I was, I was just trying to stop her. She was like, what would have happened if you would have actually end up killing him and all of this other stuff? And he said, get out of here, Keyshawn. And she was like, but Diamond, I'm trying to apologize. Okay, well, I'm straight. I'm good. Don't need your apology. Next. And she was like, can you imagine what would have happened if you would have killed Derek that night? Where would you be? He said, Keyshawn, get out of here. Go ahead with your redneck baby daddy, okay? And stay away from gutter niggas, because that's what he called me. You know that? If he called me that, I wonder what he would call you. And she talking about, oh, he would never say that to me. Okay, Keyshawn, I'll find that hard to believe. All right. And so, nonetheless, he wanted nothing to do with her. She tried to take off the chain that he gave her and give it back to him. And he was like, nah, I don't want that. It don't work anyway. So she felt stupid and she went on about her daggone business, okay, and walked away. And so, like I said, they back at this repast. They asking, Andre, what do? You so tall and you just letting your tallness go to waste. You don't play basketball or anything like that. He talking about, no, but I do play NBA Live, okay? And, we had, Uncle Clifford come pick up the chitlins for Grandma, and she done told the new mayor about himself and, walked off with her chitlins or whatever have you. Andre's trying to help clean up, and he's saying thank you for letting him stay there at the grandfather house, that he got the rest, he'll take care of it. And he gets a knock at the door, and it's old homeboy, coming back, dropping off some money, still talking about this casino thing and saying that he's giving Andre a retainer. And I'm like, so y'all still keeping that going. We have Keyshawn get in the damn crib with the baby and tell her some story that I was like, where's this story going? What is the point of this story? Okay, about some girl that she was gonna grow, the baby was gonna grow up and have long hair and grow her hair, but another girl, which I'm assuming was supposed to be her, couldn't grow her hair because of how held down she was, so she had to send her sister to the store to buy her some bundles. I said, girl, what the hell kind of damn bedtime story is this? All right, I don't know, but okay, nonetheless, I digress. And so, like I said, Andre go ahead and send everybody out and tell him he got the rest of the stuff, thank her for letting him stay there. And I said, Andre, you done been around all these people, you done exposed yourself and exposed other people. Meanwhile, your wife going through all this stuff to keep y'all damn safe. You done did everything you told your wife you wasn't gonna do. But okay, And so when they leave, like I said, he had got another knock at the door just as he was trying to go ahead and put this VCR tape in and watch. I'm assuming it was an old tape of him that his uncle had. He's looking at the chest thing that the uncle had and all of that, and he gets this knock where his money left on the porch, and he like, but what the heck is this supposed to be? And he telling him that's a retainer for you. You're gonna go ahead and keep this process going or whatever the case may be and make it where we could still do this casino. And he's like, Uncle Clifford ain't trying to go for that. And he's like, yeah, but the new owner might. Like, really? Damn well the new owner ain't doing crap. So now this is an excuse for Andre to still be back around, okay? And so we see that Mercedes and Haley over here watching What's Love Got to Do With It. She talking about, oh, look at this part. This the good part going up. And she was like, girl, how many times we seen it? Here it comes, here it comes. And she's saying it word for word. And so Mercedes come up to a damn post that's talking about auditions is open for the Pink, and she like, girl, I told you not to go in here hire no damn new dancers, and here you go, doing it anyway, and already done put up a post. She throws her phone against the wall and is pissed. And so here come Haley going off back like, I've been trying to help y'all, I've been trying to do everything that I could do, I don't know what else you want from me, you know what I'm saying? And so basically she was like, okay, massa, that's what you want to do, massa, would you like any lemonade, massa? She was start singing, wait in the water. I said, no, she didn't. We have Little Murder taking out his daggone teeth and stuff like that, I guess, about to take himself down for the night. And he now gets a text from Keyshawn that's saying, all right, I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a go. We could go on tour and we can call it the Dirty Dozen Tour. So 12 cities and 12 nights. And so he starts smiling and he happy or whatever the case may be. And I guess because of what happened with Diamond and everything, he said to her, now she want to try to go on this tour. But how's that going to work out with your damn baby daddy, honey? But nonetheless, Little Murder's like, I told ya, I'm gonna blow that whole damn bag. I'm gonna make it out. When I make it out this bitch, I'm gonna go and be stupid bitch. Whatever the hell he be singing. Y'all know. I like the song though. So that was the episode, y'all. Tell me what y'all thought about this first one. What y'all looking forward to for this season. Put it all in the comments. Let's discuss. All right. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you are so inclined. Talk to y'all later.